Jonathan is going to be the next president.
At this point, I think the presidential election is too close to call.
Right, because people are tired and fed up with the present administration, not because he's the best candidate we've ever had, but the best candidate for Joe, because we want
Jonathan, because APC is not ready to get their hands dirty.
I think Goodluck Jonathan is going to be the next president.
Well, we're at a period where everything is dependent on the opposition. The truth is that the ball is in the opposition's court, and what I'd like to see the opposition win. A lot of mistakes that I've been seeing so far show that it might not happen. And so, while I would like the opposition to take over the government, the truth is that the reality of the fact is that the incumbents are most likely going to remain, at least for another term, and that's what it is. This is the farthest and the strongest we've come to actually challenging for governments and governance, and that's where we are.
Well, I believe Goodluck Jonathan will become the president of Nigeria because he's a leader right now, and it's just difficult for a leader who knows he's legally allowed to continue to relinquish his power for someone else, especially when he thinks he knows what he's doing. So, yeah, I think he's going to have this one. I think the power of incumbency would take this.
Jonathan is going to win. I'm going to vote for Buhari, but Jonathan is simply going to win because he's the incumbent and they are going to win the election. Unfortunately, the courts would confirm his election because they will not.
Corruption. Three things I want the government to change. Corruption.
Change in our security situation, diversification of the economy and education.
Corruption, because that's Nigeria's biggest problem. Insecurity, and then power.
to decriminalize abortion. And thousands of girls are having miscarriages every day, or every month, and because it's not legalized, people are dying and people are damaging vital organs. Since people are doing it anyway, the government should do it. I also want the government to revamp our healthcare system. The present national health insurance scheme is not working, and it only caters to those who are employed. So those that are not employed are not even covered by the scheme. And lastly, I'd like the government to revamp our professionalized civil service as well as law civil service in this country.
It's very poor, it's very bad, it's appalling really. The second thing I would like to see, the second change I'd like to see is security. Security is a huge issue, mostly because of what's happening in the Northeast and also because of what's happening interstate. The security situation is very bad. So you have the situation with Boko Haram, and you also have the situation with robberies and petty crime within the state. So I'd like an improvement on a lot of that as well. Third thing rather, that I'd like to see eradicated is corruption, because in everything I mentioned previously, corruption has a hand in making sure that none of these are actually sorted out really. So basically, would like to see an end to corruption for starters.
I would love Nigerians to be more disciplined, because we really lack discipline, and I don't think it even starts with a man in the mirror or trying to be against at home. I don't think that's the case, because a normal human being, like, if you know you're going to do something wrong and you're not going to be punished, nobody's going to penalize you, obviously you do it. So you should start from the government. They should be able to have a stronger hold on things that happen in the country at different points in time, so people can be penalized when they do wrong things, and we can just be more disciplined, and things will move faster. Also, job creation. Yeah, we need to have more jobs. I know, like, being an entrepreneur is so wild, it's nice, it's fun. Your country, you're in charge of your money and stuff like that. But we also need to learn corporate discipline by working with a company. You also need to raise capital by working with someone, working with a firm. And you even need to get experience in what you're going to do, by working somewhere. So I think it'd be nice if there are more jobs for graduates, semi-skilled work people, whatever. We just need more jobs in the country. Thirdly, I would say security. Yeah, security, because that stops a lot of investors from coming to the country. Even people who have gone out of the country maybe to study, it just makes us, continue being there, just not wanting to come back. If there can be more security, it would help, foreign investors and even we citizens of Nigeria.
First, security in the Northeast top priority. Passing the PIB, and implementing their own
security,
reports.
empower more youths, and create a faster and quicker, more accessible information system.
Power, we have the production base, and we can produce stuff, and the poverty level would reduce. Secondly, we need to fix corruption. Corruption is what is causing our institutions to fail, and because our institutions are failing, we see all this lawlessness all around us. Then thirdly, we have to look out for people who cannot provide for themselves. The government need to find a way to provide basic stuff for people, a social system that will ensure that people get the basic necessities and they can be patriotic and have a sense of belonging to this country.
It was bound to happen.
It's bad, but as long as they pay me in dollars, I'm cool. I'm just kidding. It's very bad, and the government needs to do something to our economy, or we'll just end up being wretches.
Reflects where we are as a country. I think that it's good for our economy because we will need to diversify to other areas such as agriculture or tourism or minerals or even manufacturing and exporting. So in the short run, it's bad for us because it needs time to be harder, but in the long run, it's good because then it will force us to diversify away.
Valuation of the naira, that was expected really. Our benchmark is way too high, it was unrealistic, it was way too optimistic, and it was based on an oil price that wasn't exactly stable. And with the crash of the oil price, the discovery of shale and the strengthening dollar, emerging nations will definitely not find it easy.
Well,
And here we are.
I'm picking up on thinking about destroying Nigeria right now. I'm basically just trying to use it to my own good. When I do businesses, and because most of my stuff, the stuff I do, I actually get paid in pounds. I just quickly convert it to naira and save it in my account because it's crazy. The other day I did a transaction and it was 292 naira to 1 GBP. That's just ridiculous.
It's too much propaganda. Policies can be made to regulate and appreciate the naira. These policies could include but not limited to diversifying the economy, capitalizing on agriculture, and making other major sources of revenue for the economy. Naira as a currency also needs to be readily convertible. I think this will also help.
As for the falling naira, I think free floating the currency has to be an option at this
About
stage.
naira, something should be done about it quite fast, or inflation.
The naira, well, we need to be less oil dependent. How can we be? If we go for industrialization, and how can we be industrialized? We need to fix power. Industrial nations traditionally have strong currencies. If you are simply raw material based, you're just susceptible to the volatility of the dollar. So we need to industrialize and have our
Hi. My name is Lami Phillips and I'm a musician in Nigeria. I'm not really sure who I will be voting for as the president of Nigeria next year, as I'm still looking through the manifestos and trying to understand who they are and what they stand for. But the three things that are important to me while I make this decision are, number one, making sure that education up until the age of 15, 16 is regulated in such a way that the children get educated for free. It's very important because Nigeria needs to move up from an underdeveloped country to a developing country at least. Number two, we need to make sure that healthcare is way better. And I think one of the ways to do that is make sure we have consistent electricity. It's very important even for regular upcoming businesses and startups. We need regulated electricity in Nigeria. Last but certainly not the list is who's going to bring back the Chibok girls. We're not talking about it anymore, but it's extremely important. They need to bring back our girls. That needs to be a topic of discussion. It's very heavy. God bless you. God bless Nigeria and keep it safe.